For as long as I can remember, from my time being here on Earth, I always loved fighting games. There is something special about them, and yet, even with this amount of love, I'm never good with them. Allow me to tell you about my history with them. Back in the day, in my early years here, I used to live in a small town, far away from proper civilization, so there weren't any forms of commercial entertainment here, except for one arcade. It was a small one, with not many games in it, but there was one game in it that drew me instantly: Tekken 3. At the moment I saw the game, I immediately ran to it and started playing. The problem was that since it was a small town, the arcade was empty most of the time, and only really filled with people when someone celebrated their birthday there. So I never could play against another player, only on arcade mode. And the owner put the computer on the highest difficulty. So after a couple of hours and a lot of coins wasted, I never managed to win a single time. It was frustrating to lose, but I never wanted to give up. The only reason I stopped was lack of funding. But I remember the feeling of wanting to become strong, to show sick moves and become undefeated. Fast forward a few years and I got myself a PlayStation 1 with a bunch of fighting games in it, including Tekken 3. And it meant two things. One, I could train as much as I wanted for as long as I wanted. And two, I could invite others to fight against me for free. After playing for a while and realizing that the arcade was set on such high difficulty, I managed to get a hang of it, or so I thought at the time, and I managed to beat my friends most of the time. Feeling good with myself, I stopped playing, since in my mind I was good enough, and moved on with my life. Fast forward many years later. At a gathering, someone busted out a console and on it was Tekken. I don't remember which one, but feeling confident, I challenged them to a fight. Needless to say, he beat my ass so many times and so effortlessly. And then came the excuses. It's been a long time since I last played Tekken. You're using cheap characters. If only this move hit you, I would have won, etc. Looking back on it, he probably enjoyed the salt. Fast forward again. I found an old PlayStation in a common living room with Tekken and Soul Calibur on it. I felt excited, but I was less confident in myself since I got humbled the last time, but I still challenged my roommates for a few matches. For some reason, I was almost undefeated. They just couldn't grasp spacing at all and many other simple mechanics. So in order to level up the playing field, they placed many restrictions on me, like banning me from certain characters or playing only randoms on quote-unquote low-tier characters. One time, they even made me play with one hand. It was really fun, but I knew that there was so much more to learn, but I just couldn't grasp the gap between my level and the common fighting game player, let alone the top. So when Tekken 7 got released, I bought it and decided to try and really be good at it. And oh boy, was it rough. As soon as I ranked out of the beginner level, I got matched out with people who knew how to play the game. I was just a punching bag for them. So I went back to the lab and practiced combos, went online to see a guide, to see what I was missing. By the end of this journey, I couldn't call myself good, but I was decent enough to see where I failed, what to improve, and where to practice more. But a new problem arose: connections. So matches were unbearable, and sometimes I couldn't find opponents since I was playing on PC. So each new fighting game that got released, for a while, I would buy it, get stomped since it's a new game for me, learn a bit, be kinda decent in it, and then couldn't play on it until the next patch when more people would come. With rollback getting implemented in more games and getting lobbies fixed and improved, I hope the next games will manage to keep me playing for more. And here we are in the present time. I'm waiting for the next releases of the games to see if some game will manage to reignite the flame, and I'll be able to fight and rise to greater level.